Hi everybody, it's Mark from Employer Branding Australia. I am here to give you a short video on employer branding in 2024 and 2025. Where are we at, where's it heading, and what are the opportunities if you focus on the right things? And I'm not just talking about employer branding in the specific sense, I'm talking about talent strategy overall. So I'll start by talking about the market, and then I'll talk to you about what matters most to Australian employees and candidates right now, and where you should focus. And of course, I'll talk about AI. So it is a strange and insidious market right now. We're in a very, very odd place. Some employers, some industries are still growing and booming. Others are collapsing and falling away. Most are in limbo. So we're seeing plateauing. There's a decline overall in job ads, in recruitment activity based on job ads being marketed, but that's very variable by sector. And we're hearing employers, according to all the data, employers are still saying, well, we're still struggling to hire the right people for us. You've also got a real challenge, I think, and a real risk in times of strife when employees are struggling to pay their bills, are in finding life very complex and hard to manage, and certainly balancing life and work a real challenge. We've got a real risk of employers and employees falling away from each other, for trust being reduced, for failing to collaborate to actually get through these the issues and the challenges we're facing. But if you are an employer that genuinely wants to win through your people, you have the opportunity right now to build that trust and to create teams that aren't just grateful to work for you and take the paycheck and the nice stuff, but they are mobilized and inspired to help you go and fight and solve problems, to come through a crisis if you're in one, to keep growing if you're pushing on steadily, and to really, if you're booming and it's relentless, to help you organize that chaos and to grow well. So what do I think matters most? Well, it's not really about what I think, it's what employees are saying. We've spoken to thousands and thousands of employees across Australia in recent years. The data that we have is telling us consistently the same thing. What matters most right now? You've got number one, purpose, impact, and contribution. Number two, trust, collaboration, and support. And number three, it's a strange combination. It's functional benefits and a vague sense or a general sense of security and confidence, while also feeling valued and secure and safe based on leadership behaviors. So that's an interesting combination, which I'll come back to. Let's talk first of all about purpose, impact, and contribution. The key message here is that, for years, employees have marketed purpose as a CSR initiative. It's sort of all, come and join a values-driven organization where we're changing the world. It's not enough. It's not enough in this day and age for somebody to say, come and work for us. We are doing good work. We're doing noble work. What matters when I say I want to make a difference is the contribution that I get to make. So, in other words, purpose without impact is pretty meaningless. So the key focus here when you're engaging your staff, when you're trying to recruit, but also when you're onboarding people, when you're mobilizing people to change, is be clear about the purpose of the organization. Why is it important that you exist? And critically, how is each employee in your organization, irrespective of their role and their seniority and their tenure, how can they contribute directly to that purpose? So that's the first one I want to talk to you about. The second one is trust, collaboration, and support. And this sort of links to some of the leadership stuff I mentioned in point 3. But really, it is a challenging time. We need to acknowledge that it's a difficult time. And we need to take the conversations deeper. So employees right now need more understanding, more compassion from employers. They need flexibility. They need trust. But you know what? Employers need it as well from their employees. So we talk a lot about the fact that trust and ownership go hand in hand. You can't trust somebody if they don't own it, and they can't own it if you don't trust them. So if you're doing nothing else right now, really get focused on your employees and engaging with them and showing them that you are seeking to inspire them and empower them to perform, to bring their best. So it doesn't become this war for discretionary effort. How do we make staff work harder? It's the wrong question to ask. And the third one I really want to hone in on though, this idea of functional benefits and rewards, and also flexibility and leadership behaviors, demonstrating that you are valued. In a downturn, in a challenging market, whether it is relating to the sector you're working in or whether it's just somebody's home loans and cost of groceries, which we're all experiencing now, the functional benefits become so much more important. employees need help. They're looking for ways in which they can not only, yes, get a pay rise, but actually, are there other ways that you can impact what's in my pocket? So one example, we partner with Flair, who are an organisation that provides benefits, employee benefits through the organisation. So that's something that we've done at Employer Branding Australia, where we'll say we can't offer pay rises left, right and centre just for the sake of it. You know, it's a less certain market than it was, and it's certainly not booming the way it was. But what we can do is look for ways in which, as an organisation, we can leverage our organisation to get discounts for our staff. So our staff, when they go and do their shop, they can get discounts now through the Flair program. In many high street stores, they're part of this program. So we can offer that and help them benefit and help benefit our staff, but it doesn't cost us anything. So looking for ways in which you can really impact the functional benefits and the amount of money that someone has in their pocket is a real game changer right now. The point I want to make though there is, don't just do it and put it in your policies or on your website. Really find a way to embed it in your culture, in your communications, so that staff are using that opportunity. And also keep reminding them of the latest discount, the latest offer, so that they keep associating and remembering the fact that those discounts are part of the remuneration package that they get from working for you. This last bit though is about leadership. Never before have we been more reliant on leaders to lead. Obviously lead technically, lead strategically in the organisation, but I also really want to put the onus squarely on great leadership from a people perspective. How are we ensuring our staff truly feel valued? Are we having the hard conversations when people aren't performing, or maybe they're performing in the technical elements of the role, but not through in terms of contributing positively to our culture? So that ability to really, as leaders, be vulnerable, be honest, be upfront, have the hard conversations, and be excited to celebrate and elevate your team for their efforts and their achievements. Those things matter hugely right now. Let's talk about employer branding specifically and where we're seeing it. I think that there's employer branding is being democratized, and I think that's super exciting to see. It no longer being just the domain for large brands with big budgets and lots of agencies and stakeholders. In fact, I think it's harder to do it there. What I'm seeing is more and more organisations, smaller organisations, quieter organisations that tend to be quite humble and that don't want to shout about themselves. You've found an opportunity to go and find your voice and go and share. Anybody can do employer branding. You know, it doesn't need to be a huge investment. It could be a small thing you're doing. It could be tactical. It could be something you do with a partner. It could be something you do on your own. And we're seeing more and more organizations grab this opportunity to use employer branding. Number one, to attract talent, of course. That's been the classic sort of go-to for employer branding. But I'd argue much more importantly, especially now, to retain staff and drive performance. When you do employer branding well, content, strategy, storytelling, etc., you will connect people more to the organisation they're working for. They will feel valued and recognised and seen, and they will give more. The third thing that employer branding is doing, especially now and more, is helping you win business. I'm yet to see a better way to really win business, to drive up customer engagement, to get customers championing you and wanting you to win, than by celebrating and showcasing the people you have in your team, the people delivering the service or the product, and how much they care and what they're achieving every day. So attract talent, yes, retain and engage and drive performance, but also the commercial benefits of employer branding are there and clear to see. So what would I be focusing on? Well, if you are a smaller organisation, I encourage you to jump in and tell your story, be bold. Too many small organisations have been quiet for a long time. There's a lot who have a great story to tell, a real story to tell, but their job ads, their content and so on are really poor. They're just generic. On the other hand, you've got larger organisations, more complex organisations. Well, I put it to you that your challenge is authenticity and agility. I am dying to see a really big Australian brand get out there and speak without voiceovers, without scripts, to actually say what they mean and to engage on a really meaningful personal level with the audiences they're trying to engage. So I think that's one thing. The other side is that agility. it can be very hard to do things like that. It can be very hard to put out campaigns. It can be very hard to make a change to your candidate experience if you're in a larger organisation. Now is the time to really break down those barriers and get your senior stakeholders engaged and buying into you so they let you do something different. Where are we at with artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence has a huge role to play in employer branding and in talent strategy, and it's really accelerating fast. My take is that this is really going to land in 2025, and I'm not putting it off. I'm just saying that that's where I think we're really making sense of things now. That's where it's going to land. So this is the year where you should be playing with this, trying it out, using it for the right things. From our perspective, AI can play a huge role in helping you scale. So, for example, capture insights, get perspectives, understand what's going on in the market, understand how you're perceived. You can use AI as tools to accelerate that and amplify that, to put out content, to create more versions of content, things like that. You can do a lot with that. But at the heart of great content storytelling still today are humans. It's about humans' interpretation. If you're doing an interview on somebody, if you're writing about somebody's career and their life, so much of the value is in how you interpret that person, what you make of it, and how you stitch it together. AI can't yet do that. So grab the opportunity, play around with it, see what you can do with it, and but don't let it drive yet. Humans are still absolutely vital. So there's a top line video. It's longer than I thought, so hopefully you made it this far. We've got lots of detail that we're sharing at our employer branding live events across Australia. And I'm only a phone call or an email away if you want to ask a question. Thanks a lot.